sunny day. I've got my sunglasses on. I hope you don't mind. Just means I can't look at you. You can't see where I'm looking either. Okay. So rest your hands on your thighs. Relax the shoulders. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Let the crown of the head go up. Let the shoulders release down. And just make equal length from both sides of the hips to the ribs. Let your awareness sink into the body. Balance the buttock bones with the tailbone and bring your hands to Namaskarasana. From the wrists back to the elbows, release back there. We'll start today. I thought it would be nice to do the invocation. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaijakena yopakaratam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram Shankha chakra siddharanam sahasra shirasam shvetam pranamami patanjalim Harihi Om. Bow down your head. Pay your respects to yourself, your body, your practice, and pay your respects to the Iyengar family. I give thanks. Release the hands down. Raise the face. Open the eyes. Okay, so we're going to start with changing the cross of our legs. So let's just do that and we'll get a little bit of lift through the chest. So interlace the fingers, push the palms away and raise the arms up. Stretch up. Stretch the back of the body as well as the front of the body. Have the elbows in and up. Really think about containing the arms in. Keep the lift that you've created on the sides of the ribs, on the back of the ribs, without throwing those front ribs forwards. And then lower the arms down. Try not to disturb the trunk because we've created this nice sense of space. Second interlace of the fingers. Push the palms away and raise the arms up again. Look forwards, don't look down, but let the eyes be passive, let them rest. Let the thighs go down. And then release. Adho Mukha Virasana. I'm going to do it this way. It brings a nice way of opening up the chest. So I was sitting on some bricks. I've got 2 bricks, a blanket and a belt nearby. I've also got the cushion and another blanket, which I may or may not need. Hopefully you've got all your kit. So I want you to bring the big toes together and I just want you to stretch back on your heels and take the arms forwards. And I want the arms slightly raised so that you get a nice opening through this armpit area here. Get a nice lift of the chest. Let the spine move in, so look forwards, lengthen forwards, and extend right through into that middle finger, on both hands. And then check that both sides of the body feel like they're operating at the same speed. So you don't want to feel like one side is, if you feel like one side is stretching more than the other, just try and balance out those stretches. So to me, a stretch feels like the tissues are moving at a particular speed, I suppose. And then just rest the head down. Now, if your head doesn't reach the floor, that's okay. Just bring the floor up to you. So you might want to have a blanket underneath your forehead. Keep the outer armpits broad and wide, but then really make the most of the length you can get through the sides of the chest there. Now, the imagination's a marvellous thing. Pretend your arms now are from the sides of the hips and see if you can stretch forwards from the sides of your hips. And just let the body be there just for a few more breaths. And then look forwards. Take your hands back, walk back a little. Now, I want you to open the chest a little more. So put the bricks now on top, on their highest point. Now, if that's too much, stay with the last one, because you're still doing maximum. But for those of you with slightly more mobility in the shoulders, doesn't make the shoulders any better or worse. It just means there's more mobility there. Now, take the arms forwards, make the arms long, and release the head down again. Rest the forehead. Collarbones to middle finger. Nice long arms. Once you've got that action, see if you can then stretch forwards from the buttock bones to the middle finger. Keep the hips grounded. Spine nice and long. Tailbone to the crown of the head. Crown of the head to the tailbone. So you've got a two-way action there. And then inhale, come up. Put the bricks to one side. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So I want you to start by lying down. Place the hands directly underneath your shoulders, and I want you to lengthen your body. So you're going to stretch your left hip back and stretch your right hip back so the waist feels nice and long. Spread out the hands and just check that the middle fingers are pointing directly forwards and that they look even. You can do this if you go right to the front edge of your mat and have your, should I do it? Shouldn't I really? So have your mat so it's underneath your shoulders. That's it. And then put your middle finger so that the middle finger is parallel to the outer edge of your mat. So again, this is just so that if you ever want to kind of come back and go, oh, how was I feeling in the dog head down? You can do that. So the middle finger is parallel to the outside edge of the mat. Get the back of the wrist to be parallel to the front edge of the mat. So you're making this kind of, you're using, I suppose, the squares of graph paper, something like that. I don't know. So now from there, lengthen the hips back. So I'm choosing my right hip first because I did the left one when I demonstrated last time. And left hip back. So now I've got a nice length all the way through my trunk. Okay. And then we get the opportunity to come up. So you're going to just dig the tailbone down. Just take the navel back just a little bit so that you feel, those of you who've got a more flexible lumbar spine, you'll have a little bit of control there. With an exhale, come up onto your hands and knees. If you've got sore knees, then you need to put some padding underneath your knees. Now, look at your hands. Make sure the middle finger's going directly forwards. Make sure the wrists are making a T shape with that middle finger. And then activate the fingers, roll the fingers, just to keep the fingers where they are, but just kind of internally rotate them towards the thumb back towards the fingers, both hands, and you'll feel the forearms engage. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up. Now, how high can you make the buttock bones go? So really lift those buttock bones up, stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Now, can you lift the buttock bones high enough that the very tops of the thighs engage? And then once you've got the top of the thigh engaging, start to hit the heels or lengthen the heels back, as if the heels are trying to become as long as possible. So picture the heels starting at the back of the calves and sliding from the back of the calf all the way down into the heel. Okay, and then from the back of the heel, can you think the toes are starting there? So now make the toes feel like they're stretching forwards from the heel. And I've lost my legs, so I'm just going to take this, walk my feet in just an inch or two in and lift my thighs up again. Get the very top of my thighs up. Make my body feel nice and long, lengthening through the sides of the waist, keeping that action as I take the heels towards the floor. Relax the head down. Remain strong in the legs and relaxed in the neck. And exhale, bend the knees. Adho Mukha Virasana. Rest down. Okay, now you're going to come up into dog head down, this time from a bent leg, from the bent leg position, and by leading your tailbone up. So if you just want to watch, you're going to come up onto your toes, okay, and I want you to lift the buttock bones up, press the hands down, keep the head down, and unfurl the buttocks up. Okay, ready? So start big toes together, stretching back. Make sure the arms are comfortable, make sure your knees are comfortable. Look forwards, tuck the toes under, and then just place the face to be parallel with the floor. Lift the tailbone up if your shoulders will allow, otherwise just go straight up into your dog head down the way you normally do. Otherwise, lift the buttock bones up, unfurl the legs, and press those thighs back. Arms strong. Okay, we're going to move into Chaturanga Dandasana from here. I've been sneaking it in my practice as much as possible because I'm trying to strengthen my poses. Okay, so look forwards, press the thighs back, drive the tailbone forwards and come forwards into what is I think they call it the plank position. Who are they? Okay, so get the body to be straight, stretch the heels back, look forwards, bend the elbows back and hold. Chaturanga Dandasana. You might need to collapse to the floor, that's perfectly fine. You can just hold the plank if you wish. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All the way down, take a rest. Adho Mukha Virasana. So remember, tailbone down, navel back towards the spine just a little bit for those of you with the flexible lumbar spines. Come up onto the knees, big toes together, and stretch back. Okay, so you want the distance for your Chaturanga Dandasana. The hands and feet are slightly closer. Okay, than a regular kind of Iyengar style dog head down. So just make your distance just a little bit more comfortable for your plank position, and that should be roughly the right place. So you play around with it. It's like a surfboard or golf. There's a sweet spot for hitting the ball. There's a sweet spot for standing on your surfboard. Thighs back, legs back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Connect the top of the thighs. Remember Abby saying to take the buttock bones right up, as if they're penetrating the buttock flesh. Okay, are you ready? Plank. Or Ardha Chaturanga. Not quite so hard Chaturanga. This is such a good abdominal strengthener here. You'll feel it when you're in a straight line. You'll feel the abdominal muscles all working to support you. And then look forwards, Chaturanga Dandasana. Breathe, stretch the heels back. Legs strong. Shoulder blades into the back. Legs firm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those of you who want to come down, come down. If you're still there, stay there, that's fine. You can carry on in Chaturanga, stay in Chaturanga until I've demonstrated the next part. No, I'm joking. Okay, come up. One last dog head down, then we're going to go forwards into Uttanasana, forward bend. So just be gentle with your dog head down now. Shoulders have worked, legs have worked. Okay, and I'd like you to walk your hands back, all right? So walk the hands back until the feet connect into the floor. Now remember that same sensation of the thighs lifting up. So as you go back with the hands, really think, can I lift those thighs up? Lift the thighs up, lift the thighs up. Make sure the feet aren't turned out, so the outer blades of the feet are parallel with the outside edges of your mat. You might look slightly pigeon-toed, it's okay. Now you can feel that the heels are grounded. All right, so now press the thighs back, the very top of the thighs. Imagine someone's holding the outer thigh. If you're comfortable to do so, put your thumbs at the very crease of the hips. With your fingers, roll that flesh up just a little bit. So you're getting a really good sense of lift, as if you're being dangled on 2 hooks from the ceiling. It's lifting you up. Keep that action as you walk your hands forwards, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And keep the heels down if you can, and see how much length you can get on the front of your body. How much length. With those heels down. And the toes long, don't lift those toes. Toes long, don't let them grip either. Those toes, they've got a mind of their own, all 10 of them. 10 minds. Breathe. And then stretch, not stretch, walk your hands back. Uttanasana. Lift from those hooks up either side of your hips. Up, 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 up. Relax the neck, relax the eyes, release the tongue. Let's do one more, why not? Okay, legs back, thighs back. The thighs are saying, no, we want to stay back, whilst the hands are going, no, I want to go forwards. Walking those hands forwards, go forwards, go forwards. My gorgeous teacher, Pen Reed, first taught this, and I thought there was no way I could ever do it. My thighs were hurting so much by this point. It's a really good strengthener of the legs, especially when you get the top of the thigh to work. So lift the top of the thigh right up into the buttock bones. Keep going if you can. Arches lifted, toes touching the floor. Stretching forwards, lengthening forwards, calves lengthening, spine beautifully long. Press from the hands right up into the hips. Walk your hands back. Uttanasana, one last time. Just let the palms face up, backs of the hands on the floor, if that's possible. Thighs up. Hands to waist. Squeeze the elbows towards each other, lift up. Stretch the arms down. Bring the legs together. Lengthen the arms down. Grip the thighs. Step or jump the legs apart. I'm going to step and stretch the arms out. Press down into the feet. And allow the heels to feel like they're really pushing into the floor, like they're the tent pegs. Extend out through the arms. Now push the heel of the hands away and pull the fingers back up. And it's like you're trying to really push away 2 walls. Hold those walls at bay. That's what Moo Made Ice Cream has done. It's held walls at bay. Can you still get walls ice cream? Lift the chest. Tailbone down, legs firm. Then just let the hands stretch out again. And now where that firmness was, just let it feel long. Okay, Trikonasana. Turn the left toes in, turn the whole of the right leg out to 90 degrees, and just see that the triangle, the inner triangle of the legs feels firm. See if you can keep that firmness as you exhale, go down. I'm going to grab a brick behind me, place my hand onto a brick for today. Now the joy of getting the leg work correct is that the spine then feels like it wants to go long. So just put your left hand on the sacral area and just really focus on that leg work. Can you make the inner triangle of the leg feel like you know it well? Spine nice and long, and then you'll find that the body will naturally want to turn. Don't just wrench the body around, it's not fair. But when the feet work, the chest lifts, and then it's like, oh, I'll have some sunshine on my face, please. Stretch the top arm up, open the chest, inhale, come up. I'm changing the brick to my other hand. Bring the feet to face forwards. Now it's at this point that we kind of gather ourselves together. So we gather the hips together. We just make sure that the hips are back in the same plane. Everything is level, all right? And then turn the right toes in and turn the whole of the left leg out to 90 degrees. I've still got my brick, so it's in my hand. I'm going to stretch the arms out and push out through those arms to open up the chest. Now, if you press the ball of the front leg down, you'll start to notice the back of this front leg will start to work a little bit more. Again, see if you can find that inner triangle of the leg work. Exhale, go down. Take your right hand, place it to the sacrum and encourage the spine to become long on the lower side as well as the upper side of the body. Shoulder blades deep into the back. Turn the head, look up. If it's, turn the head, look up. That's just gone. So press down into the feet because my body wanted to turn. Press down into the feet. If you start to press into the feet and you start to find that the body naturally wants to turn, it's like, oh, it's turning by itself, then allow the head to go up because that will be effortless. If the body is falling forwards and you try and turn your head to look up, that's going to cause neck ache. We have to know the difference, yeah? So crown of the head away from the tailbone, press into the feet, get the arches to sort of lift naturally by pressing the outer blades of the feet down, and maybe the body will turn. Don't force it. Isn't it nice when something comes naturally? And then when you're ready, inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards. I'm going to step my legs together and stand tall. Now I've got a brick. You can stand in Tadasana. If you happen to have a brick nearby, put the brick between the thighs. Draw the thighs, the inner thighs up and roll the thighs in. Squeeze that brick. It'll be helpful for the next pose. Extend down through the arms. Okay, take the brick out. Now where the brick was, that's where your foot's going to go for Vrikshasana. I love Vrikshasana. If you put your left hand on the top of your hip and you start to balance on your left leg, notice how the abdominal muscles start to work. Yeah? You can feel that under your fingers. So you're going to just balance on your left leg, outer left hip, keep it in, bend up the right leg, bring the foot to the top of the thigh. Okay? Now keep that area in control. Let the bent leg move back as much as you can, contract the buttocks. Stretch the arms down. Imagine that you're holding 2 bags of heavy shopping and lift the chest up against it. Go on, lift the chest, holding those heavy bags of shopping. Now keep that sense of stability and take the arms straight up. If you wish, you can bring the arms back and bring them behind you. If they don't stay straight, keep the arms apart, okay? What's happened to the abdomen? Don't let the abdomen sink. Think about that lift. And then lower the arms down, bags of shopping, get your stability again, I got them. And then release. Stand tall. Grip the thighs. Now remember where that brick was. Second side. Pick up the left leg. Foot to the top of the thigh. Toes pointing down. Heavy bags of shopping. Let that chest lift up. Once you've got that feeling, take the arms up, keeping the control through that outer hip on that right leg. Notice the abdominal muscles again. Stretch up. Again, if you want to bring the hands behind, extend up. And depending on the shape of the back muscles, shape of the shoulders, it can be harder on one side to take the hands back and connect them. And then exhale, lower the arms down and release the leg. Grip the legs together and stretch the arms down, Tadasana. I'm putting my brick behind again. Actually, I'm going to be very lazy, put both bricks behind. We're doing Trikonasana again, and I'm going to step my legs. So I'm going to place my hands on my hips, step my legs out. Now you want the bricks in quite close if you're using them, because you don't want to be leaning back. Okay, now feel where that brick was, that it's actually lifting up and out. So picture you've got two belts pulling you out this way. Press the hips press down into the hips and let both sides of the trunk become long. Toes long, heels connected. Left toes in a little. Whole of the right leg out to 90 degrees. Keep the hips in. Stretch your right arm up. Lift up. So you're going to keep this right side of the body long. Turn the palm out. Extend, extend, extend. Then place the hand down and take the left arm up. Now, here you experiment again with the feet. Press the blades of the feet down and see what happens to the body. If it turns of its own accord, then you can turn the head and look up. And it should be like the back of the head is looking through the eyes to the hand. Otherwise, you're just wrenching your neck around. It's not being aided by the turn of the body. We just hold for maybe 4 more breaths. Legs firm, don't grip with the toes. Stretch up into that top arm, inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards. Grip the hips. Turn your right toes in a little. Turn the whole of the left leg out. Press down the feet, arches lifted. Exhale, go down. Think about the inner triangle. Left shoulder, take it back. Press down into the feet, allowing the body to turn. And as the body turns, it should feel like the spine is lengthening. It shouldn't feel like the spine is, if it feels like you're shrinking down, then the chances are you're actually not releasing the spine. So you want to always feel like the spine is wanting to grow tall as the body turns around. And then if the body turns enough and it feels comfortable to look at the top hand, then do so. But otherwise, just keep the gaze looking forwards. Extend through to the fingers. Arches, toes. What do you reckon? 4 more breaths? Yeah, why not? Inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards, stretch out, tailbone down. So you're really feeling like, again, you're containing everything. And then step the legs together. Take the brick. Put it between your thighs if you've got one, otherwise back into Tadasana. Squeeze the legs and stretch the arms down. Really feel now the containment around the outer hips. So you've just done Trikonasana. So now we're going to do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 2. You can do it to a raise, so that's no problem. I don't know how stable this is. Is that going to fall off? What do you think? So if you're doing Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana to a raise, maybe on a chair or a shelf or something. So you're going to, if I stand tall, you just experiment and you see. I'm holding the belt, my foot is up, standing leg is strong and it's going straight down. Stretch the arm out. You can put your foot onto a wall, but you want something that's a nice height for you, so it can be much lower. If I had really tight hamstrings, I might go watering can, yeah? And then stretch the arm out. You just want to feel like this is all coming up. What's the point in having a practice that makes you feel downhearted? No point at all. I don't know whether you could hear me whispering here. So you've got the right leg up. I've got my right leg up. So put your right leg up. I won't be mirroring you. Lift the chest. Open the heart. Breathe. And then exhale. Carefully release, especially if you're using a life buoy. And then turn around and do the second side. So the joy of having my microphone is that I can carry on chatting and I don't have to shout. Raise the leg up. Make sure the standing leg is good and strong. So you can see my shoulder blades now. Shoulder blades move deep into the back and stretch the arm out. Just look down at the foot and make sure that foot hasn't spun out. Tailbone goes down, both sides of the body are long. And the joy of having your leg to a height is that you can check that it's the same height. You know, you're not going to be doing anything different with the body. Often we get caught up in trying to balance too soon. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that our body hasn't learnt how it's meant to feel yet. And so one leg will go higher than the other. And then exhale, release. Whoop. Legs together, squeeze those legs together, okay? And this is where you find out. So you've got a choice. You can do it again to a ledge, or we're going to do it freestanding. You can use a belt or not. So if you're using a belt and your hamstrings are very tight, then it might be that you just want to balance with the leg out, maybe this high, and the arm opens this way. Okay? You might find that the leg will come up this high and the arms open this way. Or you might find that you can hold the big toe, take the legs out, and get a nice length there. Whichever way, hold for 4 or 5 breaths, standing legs strong. Lift the heart, keep your balance, and release. As you release, try and stay in complete control as you bring the legs together, lift the chest. Second side. So again, it might be, I should do the same, shouldn't I, both sides? It might be that you're just here, nice low balance, and this in itself is a really interesting exercise because you're actually working slightly different muscles. So if you always lift your leg up really high, give this one a go. Or maybe this one a go. Yeah, so you've taken the leg up a little higher, or maybe just chuck the belt to one side. You want to try holding the toe? If you want to try holding the toe and the leg doesn't straighten, that's okay. This is good. Or, whoop, take the leg up and out, lift the chest, and again hold for 4 or 5 breaths. And exhale, release. Squeeze those legs together. Again, I'm coming back with the brick because I'm really enjoying the brick at the moment. So you want to roll those thighs in towards the brick, stretch the arms down and lift the chest. Okay, we're going to work our way back to the floor. So keep the brick there. Roll those thighs in. If you're happy to do Uttanasana, keep the big brick gripped, fold forwards, and first of all just let the arms release down like so. Release the back of the neck. Then walk the hands forwards, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So it's a narrower pose, just to begin with. Have your hands as wide as your shoulders, but your legs are more narrow. Now lift those buttock bones up. Lift them up, tops of the thighs back. If you take your brain right up into the top of the thigh, even if they're not working, just take your mind up there. You've got more chance of that area becoming alive, that area responding to you. It's like if you never ask the question, you'll never know the answer from that person. And here, if you never ask that place to work, it'll never know that it needs to work. Yoga's fab, I love it. For you, Basti, I love it. There you go, that's my Cornish accent sneaking out again. Slightly, that would change the whole class, wouldn't it? Hello, let's do some yoga, shall we? It's nice and soft. It's not taking the mickey, it does come out every once in a while. Lift up through those thighs. Urgh. Top of the thighs, please work, please work, please work. You've got a choice. You can rest, you can bend the knees, big toes together, just let your body stretch back. You might find having the block there very comfortable, or you might prefer to get rid of the block, put it to one side, and just stretch that way. If, however, you think, yay, one last chaturanga, you don't have to think that. And obviously, if you don't want to do it on your hands, you can always do it with your forearms down, so on your elbows. If you're not sure what I mean, like this. You can hold that as a plank just to contain yourself, tailbone down, abdominal area firm. Otherwise, one last chaturanga, forwards you come. Tailbone towards the heels, look directly forwards, exhale, come down. Just 4 or 5 breaths. Don't let them be too quickly. Don't let them be too quickly. Don't let them be too quick. Tailbone down, chest open. When you're ready to release, release. Big toes together. Stretch the heels away just a little bit and rest your head in your hands. What's really nice is to rest the forehead onto the hands, and this is a really nice way if you're not feeling like doing the chaturanga. When you've done lots of adductor openings, it kind of can bring sort of an awareness more to the sacral area. So just to bring that awareness into more balance, just let those heels flop out. Make sure it's comfortable. So the big toes are together, my heels are flopping out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just take a look at the screen. And then press the tailbone down. And you'll start to feel the navel move back towards the spine. And then just tuck the toes under and stretch the heels away from the hips. You'll feel the thighs come to work. Now as the thighs work more, press the pubic area into the floor more. So you've got equal and opposing forces in that area. You'll notice that the buttocks will contract, but they shouldn't clench. So the contraction feels like it's actually lengthening the lower back, and it should feel very nice. If they're clenching, you might find that it pinches there. And then release. We'll do 2 more, unless you just want to lie quietly. I can't see. Okay, so tuck the toes under. Heels away. Thighs, you feel the thighs working as you press the pubic area into the floor a little more. Stretch the calves to the heels, and then release. And then one more time, toes under, heels back.
And then release.
Rest back, pose of the child. Slide my mat a little bit.
Allow the spine to become nice and long. Shoulders relaxed. Those of you who want to go on and do your shoulder stands and things, go on, do your shoulder stands and then come back and take Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana,
Get yourself settled. So it's really nice to have a blanket underneath the back of the head because it quietens the brain. It allows the eyes to rest properly. So if you'd like to just have the legs bent, lengthen the spine, so vertebrae by vertebrae. So again, the power of the imagination. Picture as you lie back that you're just really looking after something so precious. Don't pretend, you are looking after something so precious. And you're just lying it down little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit, all the way down. Relax the hands to the abdomen. And then quietly lengthen those legs away. Looking for space and comfort. Yeah, there's no point in coming into Shavasana if it's not comfortable. And that's why we have to be appropriately supported. Have the fingers gently curled. Legs relaxed. Release through the eyes. Release the tongue. And allow the breath to be smooth, even. Now if you've settled yourself in, just observe that you have, if you've got a blanket underneath the back of your head, that it is actually giving the neck support as well as the head. And you'll know that it's correct because the forehead feels like it's releasing down towards the eyebrows. And the eyes start to want to look down. They don't want to look to the skull anymore. They don't want to poke out of the head. And then allow the eyes to feel like they're releasing outwards. Allow the cheeks to feel like they're releasing outwards. As the cheeks feel like they're releasing outwards, you'll notice that you'll probably, maybe, perhaps, want to release the lower jaw. And check that the tongue is away from the roof of the mouth. And it's softly moving away from the sides of the mouth and the lower palate until the tongue becomes completely small, like a bud of a tongue. I think I've said that before in one of my latest videos. You notice the back of the head will release to the softness of the pillow or the blanket a little more. Relax the sides of the neck. From the sides of the neck out across both shoulders. Picture two lines releasing outwards. From the collarbones, through the center of the arms, through the elbows, through the wrists and into the palms. Allow the arms to feel long. So you might want to manually adjust yourself if they feel like they're drawing in a little. And then just gently open the fingers, stretch them out, maximum. and then let them go. And then make fists. Pull those fists in tight. If you've got long fingernails, please don't dent your skin. Fists in tight, and then let them go. And one of them will feel more helpful towards the state of your hands feeling relaxed. So choose the one that feels more helpful and do that one again. And then picture from the crown of the head, through the back of the head, through the back of the shoulders, and into the back of the hands. It's just releasing there. Now allow your heart to be just lightly lifted. And let the diaphragm respond to the breath. Relax the sides of the waist. Let the weight of the body release to the floor. Release the back waist. Travel down through the front face of the spine and release the back of the pelvic bowl all the way down to the perineum. And then release the sides of the pelvic bowl and from the frontal hips over the fronts of the thighs down into the knees. Bring your awareness to the back of the calves and just feel that the calves don't feel like they're caught on the floor, so you might want to stretch those heels away. So you might feel like your skin is holding you back from your maximum release. And then just check the buttocks are soft and broad, and if any area is feeling like it's catching, you can always move it. Just employ one hand to move the flesh, the skin, and then put it back and let it rest again. It knows how to rest now, you've educated it. Soft calves, lengthening into the heels. So now feel that the legs are releasing all the way from the back of the ribs, where the ribs finish. Picture that area lengthening down towards the heels, resting back. Nice long legs, long awareness through the legs is probably a better way to describe it. Now from the heels, just stretch those heels away just a little, and then let the soles of the feet just feel beautifully open. You can just wriggle your toes, scrunch your toes, stretch your toes. Don't give yourself a cramp though, don't overdo, and then just let the feet come to a passive, released state. Now picture that you're looking over the whole of the body, and you're just allowing the body, almost as if you're stroking, you've got big hands and you're stroking from the center, the midline of the pose, outwards over the top of your body. You're gently releasing any tension so that any energy that feels like it's trying to bounce away from the floor changes its direction and feels like it's spreading out. And in that very spreading out sensation, you'll feel like your body just wants to go into the floor. Let that happen. Now observe the inhalation and the exhalation. And just let the body breathe itself. Release and relax back completely. Start to become a little mindful of the periphery of the body. Just, I'm going to say waft your toes, not wriggle, waft. And waft your fingers. Just swing swing your toes, so you just bring a bit of rotational movement to your ankles in one direction. Same with the fingers. You change the direction now. And then rest your hands on your belly. One at a time, roll those thighs in. Bend up your legs. Rest with the knees flopping in towards each other. When you're ready, roll to your right side. Let the left side of the body release down onto the right. A couple of breaths here. Obviously, if it's uncomfortable to be this side, then roll to the opposite. Then you're going to look down at the floor, press with your left hand, come up to a comfortable seated position. So at the beginning, we started with the invocation and we gave thanks again. Bring the hands to Namaskarasan, widen the collarbones, balance the head. Lift the heart. Be grateful to your body and the movements that you have. Be respectful to the body and the limitations that you have. Say thank you to your body. And be humble to your body. Lift the heart. Bow the head down. Forgive your body. Be grateful for the gift of breath and life. Be grateful for the teachings of Patanjali's yoga. Release the hands, raise the face, and open the eyes. And if you're still here, thank you. I'm grateful to you. Have a lovely day.